Okay, we're joined by a special guest. He's got the Made in Norfolk bucket hat, it looks like. He's out of Norfolk, Virginia,
For
Lake
sure.
High School All-State performer where he had numerous bone-jarring, bone-crunching, hard-hitting tackles there with the Titans of LTHS, and then took his talents on to Harrisonburg where he became an FCS All-American for the Dukes of James Madison University. In fact, helped JMU reach the FCS playoffs again and again and again, national championship game appearance. Didn't quite win the whole thing, but now he's going to play his college football in Austin, Texas, in the Big 12. Well, they're going to the SEC eventually, but the Texas Longhorns, and in addition to that, he has got a youth football camp to tell us all about that coming up on July 30th. Diamonte Tucker-Dorsey with us here on our VirginiaPreps.com Zoomcast, also available on YouTube and heard on ESPN Radio 94.1, 757 Saturday Sports Talk, and other platforms through our podcast and so much more. DTD, I'll call you. How you doing, Diamante? Good to see you. How you been?
I'm good, man. I've been great. I'm blessed, and I'm glad to be here.
Good deal. Well, let's start off with this camp created by, as we mentioned, you, the former FCS, now an FBS college football player. I see TYFC is a youth camp based in Norfolk dedicated to providing a positive experience for student athletes through the foundation of football. What made you decide to want to do this on the cusp of a big football season coming up for you in the Longhorns?
Really, I just wanted to, give back to the community in the way that I thought that was going to be the best way for me to do so in the position that I am in is to really just get back into the community and tell my story and then, help them along. Coming from that same place, I just wanted them to see somebody who's done it and, let them know that it's possible to get to where I'm at and it's possible to, go another route than a lot of kids take that is from where I'm from.
Sure. And growing up there in Norfolk, Virginia, did you go to any specific camps that you recall? And were there any mentors, those that you looked up to along the way a great deal?
As far as the camps go, like as far as people coming back, not really. But the one that I did remember, I think I was in college, or it might have been my freshman year or senior year in high school. But Jay Holmes had one, and I was really, like I said, I was really inspired by that. Just seeing him and him telling this story and seeing the position that he was in, that really inspired me, and I always wanted to be in his shoes. So that was really big for me, and that's what I want to be able to do with my camp. Like even if I just touch one person, that'll be good for me because, like I said, that's really what it is. Just going to get back in the community, showing my face, and letting my story be known. So it'll give people hope.
Yeah, it's great to see sort of that LT tradition probably continue on. I think it was Mike Tyson before him, and Wayne Davis, and Jalen Holmes, and now you, and Diamante Tucker-Dorsey here. And how many years behind were you of Jay? We know Jay obviously starring there at Lake Taylor, helping the Titans win a state championship, and you continued that glory. You went on to Ohio State, played with the Vikings, the Saints, now he's with the New York Giants. Was he like 2 years ahead of you, 3 years? I forget because I'm getting old.
I was a freshman his senior year, so I played with him, but only for that year. And what's funny is he actually had gave me a nickname. I can't tell you what it is, but
Is it bad?
not necessarily, just not good for the camera. But
I got you. He'll
we
tell
had
me
a good,
off. He'll tell me off camera, I'm sure.
yeah, we had a good relationship when I was at Lake Taylor for sure. He was always somebody I looked up to, and then off the field as well, he's handled himself well as far as doing having other endeavors and doing other things other than football. He has a couple businesses, and that was also inspiring to me. Like just watching him and him being the blueprint. I talk to him all the time, and I tell him just keep going because I'm coming right behind you. Just keep leading. So he's really had a big impact on my life, probably more than he even know, really.
That's cool, and certainly you had some doubters to prove along the way, which we'll highlight. But what do you hope the kids that come to this gain from the experience? Why should they come? And what do you hope they get out of it?
Like I said, hopefully I can inspire somebody by telling my story and just being in the position that I'm in. But also, we're gonna have some good coaches out there, so they're gonna at least, if not anything else, come away from the day better. They're gonna get their skills developed. Let's teach them some things that I probably didn't know when I was in high school, and just give them some insight as far as to how college football goes, what it takes to get there, and yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. But like I said. I really hope I can inspire somebody.
Diamante Tucker-Dorsey, our guest here on this VirginiaPreps.com Zoomcast, also available on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1 of the YouTube channel, the Tuck's youth football camp coming up at Lake Taylor High in Norfolk, Saturday, July the 30th. Registration starting at 8:30 a.m. T-shirts will be given out. There's an introduction, warm-ups, position drills, 1-on-1, 7-on-7, and the camp will wrap up right around 12 noon Eastern. If you want to register, you can do so with the QR code. Just go to Tucker-Dorsey _ on Twitter. We'll have a link out for everybody out there as well. Diamonte, as you look back at it, a lot of guys will have their camps wherever it might be, if they're a pro or college player in their hometown and or at the place they're playing at, and that's their own prerogative where to do it at. What made you decide to want to do it at Lake Taylor, and how important was it to go back to your alma mater and have it there?
I always, I keep in contact with Coach Sawyer. Me and him are really close. He was like a father to me a little bit when I was in high school, so it's always good to go back and spend some time with him. And then obviously, I'm an alumni there, so I want to keep that pipeline going and represent for my high school. So that was probably really what went into it. I didn't really give it too much thought. I knew Hank would say it was cool. So,
what did you learn most from your time with the Titans and under Coach Sawyer?
Really, just how to operate and how to attack the game. He really instilled my mentality in me. I've always been a good player, but when I went there, I transformed my mentality as far as how I approach the game, how I attack, and my style of play as well. It's very hard-nosed. It's really an old school style of ball. Like I'm not trying to be nice to you out there. I'm not trying to be your friend. And I think that's what the biggest thing that I took from playing at Lake Taylor. Everybody knows when the Titans walk out there what they're gonna get, if anything, as far as the aggression. So I think that's the biggest thing, just my mentality.
Sure. Well, it seems like just yesterday that you were committing, I forget if it was 5, 6, how many years ago it was, on ESPN Radio 94, putting with us to JMU to play your college football. And you had a heck of a career there, FCS All-American, team best 116 total tackles a season ago. Tell me about the experience at JMU playing in the championship game and some of the big matchups you had on a regular basis. Did it exceed your expectations?
In my personal opinion, if I'm not going Power 5, I'm going FCS and going to play at James Madison. Obviously, they moved to the FBS now, but even looking back on it, like, if I'm not going to play for a national championship at a Power 5 school, I'm going FCS and play for the FCS championship because it's really, like, you really feel like you're playing for something. That bowl game is cool or whatever, but you can win 6 games and go to a bowl game. Going to James Madison, you get a chance you get an opportunity to go play in the NFL. You're gonna play for a championship. You're gonna be on TV end of the year, end of the season, and you're gonna get developed. That's a great program. They have great culture, the way they operate, and that's from the staff, the support staff, to the trainers. Through and through, it's a great school, man, and I wouldn't change anything about my journey and the way I went. It was amazing, and playing in some of those games, like I said, you really get a lot of attention on you because you're going to be playing on ESPN, and usually you don't, especially at that level. So that was nice, especially that 2020 spring season. We was really like the only thing on TV, so you really got a lot of recognition and a lot of eyes on you. So that was cool. It's a great school, man, for sure.
Yeah, the spring COVID year made things very awkward and interesting for everybody in college football. There was FBS, FCS, you name it, even some that didn't have a season or a very shortened campaign. What you said, though, is interesting to me because I think that's the mindset of a lot of people in college athletics now. If you're not that upper crust Power 5, whether it's SEC, Big 12, Big 10, ACC, we know what the SEC and Big 10 are trying to do here. It's pretty much you have about 50, 60, 70 schools that are left in the dust outside of those upper schools, and you're almost better off at a place like that.
I really think so, man, because James Madison and North Dakota State, they like the cream of the crop in the FCS. And if you can get into one of those schools, we put guys in the league. The eyes are going to be there. I think we had like 27 scouts or so at the pro day this past year. So the eyes are going to be there. And the opportunity is there. You just got to go in and work just like any other school. But it's not a negative to going and playing at James Madison and FCS. Like I said, I would have did it 1,000 times over if I didn't have any Power 5 offers coming out of high school.
Yeah, you're not playing any cupcakes when you see, and I don't think he played against you guys specifically. I know he was playing there at one point. Trey Lance, who's the 3rd pick in the draft a couple years ago at the San Francisco 49ers from North Dakota State. It's not like it's easy pickings when you're facing that guy. Did you envision the success you had individually, I mean, you have to have a certain belief, inner confidence in yourself, despite hearing, oh, he's too small, he's not a 6', 6'2", 225 linebacker. Did you envision that you'd have the success you did individually and the group would when you got to JMU?
I always knew. I just had to wait my turn. And coming from late Teller, I didn't really have a holistic knowledge of how to play college football as far as the scheme and stuff like that. Like really like the X's and O's. I really struggled with that my freshman year. But as far as ability and me being able to play football at a high level, I never had a problem with that because I worked my ass off, excuse my language, and God blessed me. So that was never a worry of mine. It was just me really like getting a holistic feel for how to play defense and what concepts I'm gonna get and stuff like that. So once I got that down, I knew I just had to get my feet wet and took off after that. So no, it was definitely never a doubt in my mind that I could do this.
Well, it's interesting because I hear this even with basketball players that are, he's not 6 foot or he's facing guys 6'2", 6'3", or big men and so forth. Football, it's another case where you have different receivers or linemen or whatever it might be. You heard all the time about you were an undersized linebacker, as I mentioned. You couldn't play at the FBS level because of your size. How much did that fuel you? And looking at it now, big picture, the satisfaction you get out of what you're doing now, going to Texas, but what do you think sets you apart to enable you to have that success? Is it just your motor and that desire, burning passion to say, I'm going to prove you wrong and you think I can't, but I can?
Contrary to what you might believe, I never cared. Like, I kind of understood it as well. I've said this on many occasions. Like, I already knew I was small. Like, college football at the time that I came out of high school wasn't what it is now. Like, they wanted that big backer. So I was just blessed to get an opportunity. But at the end of the day, football is not about size. Football is not about accolades or whatever. Football is about making plays, and that's something that I've always done in the run in the past. So, like I said, it's about making plays. And what drove me really was just my mentality, like I said, that I got from late Teller. Just playing and feeling like I'm the best out there every time I step on that field. And that's really what it is. It's a confidence thing. It's not. I never had no issue with being undersized because you can't block me. You can't block me if you can't touch me, and that's always been my approach to it. So